Check one, two, check one, two. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. It is Saturday. It is time for a little circle talk, and I'm really excited for today. Um, and our guest, we actually went to school together for a hot second. Uh, he was a freshman when I was a senior at Stadium High School. Shout out to all my Stadium Highs that are continuing to watch and support us. But this young man, I remember him very, 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 you know, I remember him walking through the halls every once in a while. And obviously, as a freshman, you're a little shy, trying to get to know everybody or at least know your way around the school and whatnot. And I just remember him, he always had this look like he was a little bit worried about the people around him, the situations that were going on. Our school was it was a little turned up most of the time during the 90s. And this young man, he was still kind of making his way through. And so that was a long time ago. Today, he doesn't need any introduction. He is doing the comedy thing. He's working out daily, and he's also modeling. You can see him modeling, and he's doing a little bit of acting as well. So I'm really excited for the opportunity to get into this brother's head, Mr. Leon Walker, and see what he's been up to, how everything is going with his life and his journey, and what's next on his agenda of things going on with his future and his future endeavors. So I'm really excited to have him in the circle today. So without further ado, we're going to bring him in. But before we do, what I want to do is give a shout out to our sponsors. First off, I want to say thank you so much to Icon ENT for continuing to support. There's a lot of events that we got in store for you guys, but that's not until 2022. So watch out for Icon ENT and Circle Talk merging to do some things coming up real soon. Obviously, iShotya.com. If you are locally in the Washington area and you're looking for somebody to take pictures for you, whether they're graduation, senior portraits, if you're looking for family portraits, or just headshots for professional headshots, my guy Marvin Patterson. What's up, homie? Thank you for jumping in and saying hello to everybody. He will do those pictures for you. Obviously, the two pictures for behind me of me and my fam, he took those as well as every other picture in this house. Also, hit up iShotya.com, excuse me, and he will get you done. And last but not least, the Chaya movement. Shout out to my girl Zakia. I wanted to go ahead and throw this event out to anybody that is locally in this area that is looking for somebody or something to do during the December. During December, she is going to be curating and hosting a night market on December 10th, featuring 15 plus Black creative entrepreneurs. Music by Miss V, and there'll be food by Swag and Wagon. This event is being sponsored by Belltown Artwork and Lizzie Lawn's Comfort Food. Again, the date is December 10th from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. on the corner of First and Bell in Seattle. Come out and support your local small businesses. And thank you so much for you giving that information out to me, Zakia. We will continue to support you, the Chaya movement, as well as iShotya.com and Icon ENT. Thank you guys so much for being a part of Circle Talk Live. So without further ado, I don't want to keep him waiting too much longer. I got a few questions I want to ask, and I'm sure he's got a few things he's got to say to y'all. So let's bring in Leon Walker and get this thing on and popping. What's good, man? How you doing, brother? Man, I have to admit, I'm gonna tell you this, and because I know you're a funny man, and I know the jokes are eventually gonna make their way to this interview. But you got to be one of the prettiest people that I've had this year.
Hey, man. Hey, listen. I'm getting older, and I need to keep hearing it. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
yeah. You know what it is, man.
Those compliments. I don't get too many compliments from women anymore, so I'll take them. I'll take them. You know what I'm saying? I need.
Take what you can get, huh? But right. Man, I appreciate you for being here. I know you got a busy schedule. You got things going on today, tonight. And so before we move into the interview, why don't you let everybody know what you got going on tonight?
Yeah, so tonight I am starting a little comedy show and I in my backyard. I've done a couple comedy shows in my backyard. I've been producing comedy shows for about 5 years. I just recently have parted ways with the club that I was working at, and now I'm trying to combine my yoga meditation with the comedy, which is kind of like two very separate worlds.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm slowly trying to combine those two together. So tonight I have this amazing person, a colleague of mine who teaches yoga, and she's an energy healer. She's going to come do a sound bath. And then we're going to have a little comedy show at the end. And eventually I'm going to stream these shows. But right now we don't have that set up. And I just didn't want to put that energy out. But yeah, as it develops, I'll definitely eventually start streaming these type of things on my YouTube channel. But that's what's going on tonight. So I'm excited about that.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. So let's take it back a little bit to where it all started for you. Obviously, we went to school together for a hot second, but let's go a little bit further. Where are you from? Are you born and raised here? Family, your upbringing, how was that?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Northeast Tacoma, Browns Point.
Browns Point.
Yeah, Northeast, soldier, you know what I'm saying? I was very sheltered. And you bring up shyness. You bring up that I was shy, and most people from high school remember that. Most people that know me from like ninth grade, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, those were the years I was shy.
Yeah.
I was sheltered. My parents didn't let me have no friends coming up. My dad, he was a corrections officer, and because of that, and because of the area we lived in, which was like in my neighborhood, I was the only black kid. My dad was very paranoid. Because he was putting people in jail. He was just very paranoid. So he kept us very sheltered. And my dad was a military person, so a military dad. So he was just very strict, very sheltered. When I got into high school, it was just kind of a big adjustment. It was just like deer with the Bambi in high school.
Yeah.
didn't know how to meet friends. Didn't really. It was just hard for me to. I was very socially awkward, definitely, and I'm still socially awkward. I'm just better at it now, It's a little bit more charming now, like how I am. But I mean, I still got the same quirks, and I still, I do all these things, and I'm on stage every night, and I still have anxiety.
Really?
It's a thing that. And I think when it comes to anxiety, it's something that we like being aware of. The anxiety is your best awareness is your best gift.
Yeah.
Because anxiety is a natural thing. It's a natural part of your being, about a part of your system, and it's a system built to protect you. Like that central nervous system is something that's built to protect you. The thing about our central nervous system, most of the time, is lying to us. So we have to remind ourselves, like, I'm safe, I'm grounded, I'm safe, I'm secure. That's where yoga has came in and been just like a big blessing in my life. And yoga, meditation, these things that I do help me so much it helps me so much get out of my way, like when it comes to like our art, like artists, we are great. We all have a story. We all have talent. We all have the things that stop us from shining are ourselves.
Yeah.
So like breath work, yoga, meditation, it has helped me so much get out of my way and be able to like be my true authentic self in front of people. And that's half the reason why I want to combine the knowledge that I know with my comedy shows to hopefully help other artists, because it's tough, it's tough in LA, and there's not a lot of direction. Nobody's telling anybody how to be, how to do, how to, you unless you're paying big money.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
So yeah, yeah.
So let me ask you something. So are you saying that in ninth grade you're walking the stairs at stadium? There's about 18 to 2,000, what, 2,200 students at stadium around that time. You're
Mhm.
walking to your classes. Ninth grade. You had a lot of anxiety back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I've had I've struggled with anxiety and depression literally all my life.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's crazy to me, and I'm gonna be honest about myself. Um, I didn't realize I had anxiety until I hit 40.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I think it's because it's like you say, sometimes you just avoid it at all costs.
Right.
You just think you're above it all, but when it hits you, it if you haven't accepted it, when it finally catches up with you, it hits you like a freight train.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because my daughter, my oldest daughter, when she was in high school, she told me she had anxiety, and I
Mhm.
was like, "What is that?" I had
Mhm.
no clue what it was.
Right.
And when she finally, kind of explained, she was very, you know, she didn't want to be around a bunch of people, and she was nervous, and she didn't think she was good enough, and all the things that kind of led into what anxiety is all about. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think all of us have different levels of anxiety.
Yeah.
Um, I also think that when parents expose their kids to communities at an early age, it really helps, uh, kind of work through that at
Yeah.
an early age. One thing I say to people, like, everything is practice.
Mhm.
We're practicing our habits all the time. Like, now, are you practicing good habits, or are you practicing bad habits? you
Yeah.
know and going out, finding a community, talking to people, that's practice. Like, that's is practice for bigger
Yeah.
rooms, bigger communities, bigger audiences.
Yeah.
Everything's a practice. And when it
Absolutely.
comes to anxiety, you have to practice getting through it, or at least moving through it.
Yeah.
One thing about anxiety, depression, anger, where people fall is letting those natural things that happen to all of us, cripple us.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
leave the house, get depressed, stand in the bed, stay under the covers. One thing, and these things keep coming up for me. Like, they're always going to come up. I don't know if there's going to be a day where I'm just free of all of these, anxiety, depression, like all these things. Like, we
Mhm.
vibrate high, we vibrate low. It's a natural thing. Some
Yeah.
people stay consistently high, uh more, and
Right.
God bless those people. I've always been a roller coaster. It's just
Yeah.
always been
Absolutely.
that. I'm a Leo. I don't know, I'm a Leo Cancer. I've
Yeah.
always been emotional. I've
Yeah.
struggled with anger issues, like, so it's really just pushing through the times that you're vibing low, and knowing that, like, this is temporary. I've been here before. I'm push through. I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna keep doing the things that I know is gonna serve me, serve my family,
Yeah.
and keep driving forward to that goal. These goals that we had, that I've set in place. You know.
So I'm gonna dig into this. I gotta dig into this again when it comes to our high school, because I know for me, I lived on a hilltop my whole life, so I've seen nothing but obviously gangs, black people. Every once in a while I'll see a few white people on the hilltop, but for the most part, it's predominantly either black or we have our Asian population, and then you find a few Mexicans here and there for the most part. Um, you come from Browns Point, and you said you was the only black person in your area.
Mhm.
Did you go to Meeker Middle School?
So, I went to Meeker Middle School. Before then, my parents tried to send me to schools in on that side to
Mhm.
get me closer to my black, the black community,
Yeah.
and just listen. I've been socially awkward everywhere. Like
Yeah.
it just never worked out, and I don't know that, like, my parents tried.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They sent me to a private school in East Side. They sent me to what's I can't the elementary school in Hilltop. What's the big elementary
Well,
school?
we have Stanley, McCarver,
McCarver.
Bryant,
So
McCarver.
I went to McCarver
Okay.
from third grade to fifth grade,
Okay.
third to fifth grade. I went to McCarver, and I got picked on there. I got picked on there.
Wow.
I went to Meeker. I got picked on. Me and my sister were really picked on, like, when we were
Yeah.
growing up,
Right.
and sometimes it was because we were black. Sometimes it was because we're just awkward,
Right.
you know. And that happened. Like, I got picked on up until 10th grade, when I decided to start beating mother. Beating, I started to start beating people up, and that's when all that bullying stopped, bro.
Yeah.
That's when all
Absolutely.
that stopped. But yeah, it's what it
So
is.
so to this is just leading into stadium. Stadium wasn't really a culture shock for you at all. Or was it just? I mean, because obviously you said your mom and your dad, they tried to get you into places where you seen more of people like yourself, but then they send you to these places where there's people like yourself there, and then they treated you unfair. Um, Going to stadium, I know for me, like I made it pretty good in there,
Yeah,
just because stadium saved me from my home life and the things that were going on in my home. I
yeah,
didn't have a great home life, so knowing me going to school was better than me being at home,
yeah,
basically. Um, but it wasn't a culture shock for me because I was used to. I went to J. Saline Middle School. I went to Bryant Elementary. So I mean, I'm used to the diversity that we seen at stadium. Was it anything different for you, or were you just like, well, it's cool? I
I
mean,
feel like it's like almost the exact opposite of the experience that you had. And it was a culture shock in a way where like I said, my parents were very strict. Like, I wasn't allowed to have friends at the house. We weren't really allowed to have friends.
that's crazy.
So, yeah, so I went from, you know, not being able to have friends other than my brother and my sister, and we were like cats and dogs because we were just trapped in the house together, so we were
Yeah,
always fighting. I went from
absolutely
that to being and stadium, like, is a big school,
huge.
so it was just kind of like deer in headlights, and it
Mhm.
was very much a culture shock. And it did take me, I'd say it took me 2 years to get adjusted. It took me till my 10th grade to get adjusted. And it was literally, honestly, it was a moment where I just did, like, there's just one day I was like, I don't want to be picked on this day, and I got into a fight
Yeah.
and I beat a kid up. And things changed for me.
Let me ask you this though.
High school for me is kind of like jail, bro. Like, it's kind of, like, like, I got a 12-year-old, he's in high school, and
Yeah,
yeah, I have to keep reminding myself his experiences aren't my experiences. Like,
absolutely.
like, but it does give me anxiety that he's in high school, because,
Yeah,
man, high
you
school,
just never know.
I feel like high school is like one of the toughest times in kids' lives. Like, some
And
people have
that's
real good experiences, but a lot of people are just like so, like, confused, trying to fit in, trying to develop their personality, their who they are. And at the same time, it's like it's just kind of like wild. High school is just kind of a wild place. um
Yeah,
so
that's crazy. Let me ask you this. Um, when did you finally realize? Because obviously, I didn't know we was gonna get deep into the anxiety talk, but it's good. It's good we're having this conversation because that's something that is real in all of our lives. Like you said, everybody deals with it. when did you finally realize, you know what, I have this and I need to get it under control? When did you finally, say, you know what, this is exactly what's going on with myself and I have to find a way to control this?
When I was 16. When I was 16 is when I told my mom, like, I feel like I have depression and anxiety and I'd like to see somebody about it.
Mhm.
And that kind of, I mean, the person I saw wasn't a good person to see,
Mhm.
but at least I started to be kind of upfront and talk about what was going on. And so 16 is when I went to a therapist for the first time, and and it was funny. Like, I actually talk about this on stage because this therapist said, "You're good looking. You're not depressed."
What?
He was like, "What are you depressed about? You good looking. Get out of here." She gave
Yeah.
me homework, bro. She's like, here's some homework. Do this, and go live your best life. And I was just like, okay, okay.
uh,
But yeah,
I don't think that's the right person.
yeah, it definitely wasn't the right fit. And that's the thing about finding like good. I'm in therapy now. I
Yeah.
go to therapy every other week. Um, but not only that, I've gone to anger management, and just I'm all about still discovering the best Leon every day,
Every Absolutely.
and reaching out to people that can help me discover that,
Man.
using my resources. We all have these tools and these resources. But yeah, 16 was when I found I started to identify. I mean, it was a long road then. I
Mhm.
also 16 is when I started drinking,
Mhm.
and alcohol has never worked well with me, and
Yeah.
that's also something that didn't um I wasn't honest with myself about till 5 years ago.
Wow.
So I've struggled with alcohol most of my life. um I've been sober from alcohol for 5 years though.
Good
So
for you, bro. Good
thank
for
you.
you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like for me, and it's like everybody has their lives and the things that they do and the choices that they make to better themselves. For me, I never I think for me the one thing that I never had an issue with was alcohol because I dealt with it so much as a kid.
Mm,
My father was alcoholic and he was a very abusive alcoholic. And so for me, I made the choice to just never get into it. But
mm,
that doesn't mean I have three other brothers. My three other brothers are all alcoholics.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's everybody ends up doing what they think is best for them. And I just made a choice at 13 years old after seeing myself, you know, almost killed by my dad. I was like, I can't be like him. As much as I love my dad and I want to be just like him, I can't
Yeah.
because this is the person that I'm seeing. He's supposed to be telling me he loves me, but then here he is picking me up and like ringing me by my neck, talking about, I'll kill you. You know,
Yeah.
I don't need that in my life. So I just made a choice at a young age that I wouldn't do that. And I'm proud of you for making that choice to change your life too, man. Because you know, if it's causing you frustrations and putting you in a place where you can't control yourself or you're making irrational decisions, then
Mhm.
you're doing the right thing, not only for you but for anybody in your circle. Um,
Yeah.
so so
No,
I
yeah, I
applaud
mean,
you. I applaud you.
I appreciate that. And if anybody is struggling with alcoholism that is watching, I'm a testament that you can get help. There's a lot of resources out there. You can get sober. For a long time, I thought I could never see myself without drinking for a
Mhm.
long time,
Yeah.
and 5 years haven't touched it. And yeah, you can be sober. And I mean, I'm really thankful that I did find those resources to really like remove the desire to drink,
Yeah.
because man, alcohol is a very toxic substance. And
Absolutely.
if you have a problem, usually people that are alcoholics are medicating,
Mhm.
and alcohol is not a good medication at all.
No,
it's
not at
the
all.
it's the it's the worst medication. and it's a lie. You think you're covering something up. You think you're healing, but it's actually exposing you more than anything.
Yeah,
So yeah, I just hope if anybody is listening that is struggling with alcoholism, I just hope that you start to reach out to people that can help you, because there are a lot of good resources out there.
absolutely, absolutely. So, man, gosh, we went in deep, man.
Yeah.
We
I'm a
going
yogi.
in deep.
I love deep diving, man. I'm a yogi. I, my intention is to entertain, but my intention is also to help people.
Absolutely.
And as far as like being an artist, it was so hard when I moved to LA to figure things out, and I'm still figuring things out. I've had to learn everything on my own. I've had a couple mentors sprinkled in here and there, but for the most part, you have to come out here and learn on your own. But we are a community.
Yeah,
Like I want to be one of those persons in the community is like, oh man, Leon has some information. Leon has something,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
something
Yeah.
that can help me. So that those are my intentions now in my life.
And did you say this? Maybe we talked about it off camera, but did you say that the people out there, are they really open to showing? No, you said they didn't. There was not a lot of people that show you. They don't give the information if they if you need
Oh,
help with something, they're not really open to showing you the way.
bruh,
Did you say something like that?
bruh, man, people hold on to their secrets, bruh, in
Yeah,
this town. Like they holding on to their secrets. I choose to operate in abundance.
yeah,
I believe God has put us all here to thrive, not just survive. And
absolutely.
there's enough. There's enough for us to thrive on this planet.
Mhm.
All of us, all of us. These secrets, they're for everybody. Like
Yeah,
but yeah, it's tough out here because this is a very tough industry.
yeah,
So there's a lot of fear in this town. If I tell you or if I put you on, then you're gonna take my spot.
absolutely.
There's a lot of fear in this town.
Yeah,
I
I get
choose
that.
to do my best not to operate in that fear.
That's
You
good.
know.
That's good. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's, well, it's like you said, God put us on this earth for a reason, and that's to share. Live and love one another and share the gifts. There's plenty to go around. Like you said, there's plenty to go around. There's no reason to hold it all in and think that just because this person had made a step further than you, that you aren't getting the same love. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You're still going to get that love back. So, absolutely. So, let me ask you, man, when did you decide that you was going to get into the comedy thing? Where did that come from?
Man, so I've always liked comedy. I've always been like kind of the jokester of my three. I was the person cracking jokes of my brother and my sister.
Yeah,
I had two best friends growing up. One of them's name was Kurt, and I
yeah,
was always like we had similar senses of humor, and I've always loved comedy. I never thought I'd be on stage.
yeah,
Um, I moved out here to act and to model, and I've had some sprinkles of success with the acting. I started acting when I was 16.
yeah,
10 Things I Hate About You. That was
yeah,
casted in that. That's what
yeah,
kind of gave me like, oh, I could do this, B. Like, let's go. You
yeah,
know? And that kind of gave me like that whole I want to be an actor. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
moved out to Los Angeles, and like I said, no direction, especially coming out here with anxiety, with depression, is a hard spot.
yeah,
And I was in acting class, and there's this other actor that still good friends with to this day. Gifted actor, gifted comedian. His name's J.R. Cruz. And one day he said, meet me at an open mic. That's it. He said, meet me at an open mic
yeah,
and nothing else. And we met at this open mic, Haha Cafe. That's where I used to do my comedy shows. That's where I started comedy.
yeah,
And I didn't think I was getting on stage. I was just like thinking I was going to check it out. And he was just like, all right, get on stage. And he literally just pulled my card, like, "You gonna get on stage?" And I was like, "I don't have nothing to talk about." He was like, "It doesn't matter." And I just got on stage,
Yeah.
and that was 10 years ago. And and yeah, man, it's like, well, it's like, it's like bungee jumping.
Uh-huh.
You'd be terrified of bungee jumping, or you'd be terrified of jumping out of a plane with a parachute. Then once you do it, you're like, man, that was easy, bro.
Yeah.
Let's go. Like, I could do this,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
you crack off, and it's just like, yo, I could do this,
Yeah,
like,
for
I could
sure.
be funny. Like, I made someone laugh. I don't even think I made somebody laugh, but the feeling I got when I got up
Mhm.
there and was able to tell my side of the story, that's what comedy is.
Yeah,
That's the beautiful
absolutely.
thing about comedy. And that's why we love comedy so much. We all have different perspectives.
Mhm.
So I get on stage and I get to tell my side of the story,
Yeah.
and put a little funny twist on it. And
Yeah,
that's what I really never really thought I loved that so much, to like
yeah.
show you my perspective, my side of the story. And when I got on stage, and I'll tell you, the first couple years I wasn't funny,
Mhm.
but I liked being able to get on stage and be like, okay, I could tell you my side of the story. You know,
Right.
I just loved it so much. I just kept going, kept going, kept going. Now I'm going out every night. I'm performing every night. If I'm not
Yeah,
on a show, I'm doing an open mic, doing 2 open mics. I'm hosting a mic, or I'm hosting a show, and
yeah.
I'm addicted. I'm addicted to that stage.
That's cool. I'm the
Yeah.
same way, but I don't tell jokes. I'm a singer, I've
Yeah.
been singing my whole life. So,
Yeah.
I'm addicted to the stage. I'm addicted to having that mic in my hand,
Yeah.
same difference.
Yeah.
Real quick before we continue, Alan said, please do share any info you can. Alan, we will get you the information that you need when it comes to getting some help if you need some help. Like I said, if you guys didn't hear him earlier, if anybody out there is needing some support or some help on how to get through your situation, whatever the addiction may be, whether it's drugs, drinking, whatever the case is, obviously you can hit us back. Let us know. Hit me in my inbox. You can probably hit Leon in his inbox as well,
Absolutely.
and we will definitely try and get you that information if you need it. So
Absolutely.
just wanted to throw that out there real quick. Um, so family, let's talk about the family. How's the family doing?
Family's great.
Yeah,
Wife, they're coming up on 10 years,
absolutely.
10-year
Congratulations.
anniversary. Thank
Mhm.
you. I live with my mother-in-law, Miss Straw. She's like my mom.
Yeah.
And my son. I have a 12-year-old son, and
Yeah.
he's my world. Like, he's my world, like I do everything for
Absolutely.
him. Um, Family's good, man. It's been a weird time, like
Yeah.
these last couple of years. It's been a weird time. I've dealt with a lot of death in my life throughout these last 2 years. I've had a lot of people die from COVID.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people just die, bro. Like it's
Yeah.
like
It's been
it's
a
like
crazy.
Thanos. It's like Thanos. Like he's just like been keep snapping his fingers.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, our family dog passed away,
My
unexpected, and
goodness.
that like really hurt. So it's been another opportunity to kind of, I mean, this is life, right? We all deal with death. Like I
Yes.
don't think most of us have dealt with it at such an extreme level like we have now, like where I feel like most people have experienced like more death these last couple of years than ever in their lives. And it's just an opportunity to remind ourselves that we can keep living
Mhm.
when we're going through the grief of a loss. We could keep living and keep moving forward and not feel guilty about that. I will say that's been one of the biggest challenges, is dealing with grief and loss, and not feeling guilty about pushing forward, staying encouraged, and pushing through the pain that because grief, like going through grief, is a natural thing, and you should go through all the stages.
Mhm.
Rather than suppress it, you should go through the stages, because it's going to come up. It's going to come up. Like if you suppress it, it's going to come up eventually.
Yeah.
So why not go through those stages of grief when naturally. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
pushing through it.
whew, death.
Rough.
Death is it's such a hard thing to talk about because um, it's just hard. It's not something anybody really wants to discuss, but it's reality. I think about when I talk about death and when I have conversations about death. I think about when I was in high school. Every year it seemed like I was losing somebody. I was losing a friend. Every year I went to high school, even the extra year I went. I I lost someone. It was
Yeah.
just that crazy to think. Young people dying for all kinds of different reasons, whether it was natural causes or getting shot. I don't know if you remember that year. Well, you were a freshman, so I don't think you were there the year. One of our friends was playing basketball in the gym, and he got kicked off the court because nobody wanted him on the team, and so he went and got a gun and shot himself in the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
And yeah, at
I do
school, like
remember
literally at school,
that.
like that's how crazy things were. Like people were just, you know, so many different reasons, so many ways I've lost people, whether it was gangs, violence, whatever it was. And to think, I was like that during that time. That was when I seen death all the time, and
Yeah.
I hadn't really experienced anything like this year in particular since then. It's like this year I think I've lost probably like 10 friends, man.
Mm.
Like it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The amount of people that we're losing,
Yeah.
whether it's like you said, COVID, it's been a serious subject.
Hmm.
Like I had COVID. I thought I was gonna die, bro. Like I
Yeah.
literally thought I was gonna die, but I got through it, but I lost an uncle to COVID. I
Mhm.
lost a friend to COVID. I lost a workmate to COVID. So it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So it's definitely hard, but at the same time, we have to have these conversations,
Yeah.
because how are we going to get through it if we don't talk about it?
Absolutely.
I think one of the things that we all have to start doing is just making sure that to remember to talk to one another.
Hmm.
Let people know we appreciate them, regardless if we talk to them every day. If you're a friend of mine, I should be reaching out to you, saying what's up, saying I appreciate you for reaching out to me, and just staying in conversation with people that we know, and never leave somebody alone, because even those people that are sitting alone needs somebody. They could be having, like you said, an anxiety attack,
Hmm.
and they could really need somebody to just reach out and just say, hey, how are you today?
Right.
And so definitely something that we have to work on as a collective people.
Yes. Please talk to people. Please reach out.
Absolutely.
Like you know, I know like a lot of people, especially in the Black community, are like there's like a taboo going to therapy. I think therapy is amazing because you have permission. You
Hmm.
have permission to just release, and it's just between you and this one person. But if that's still something that you're not into, reach out, reach out, and don't be afraid of being rejected.
Yeah.
Just reach out, talk to people, talk about these issues that are coming up. Um, one thing that sometimes I do is I'll call somebody. I was like, "Hey, I just need a vent.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just need a vent. Like, do you mind, like, if you could just listen to me vent?"
Hmm.
And if you have a relationship and the person loves you, they'll usually say, "Yeah, man." Maybe
Absolutely.
make a time limit. Like, can I just vent to you for 10 minutes? You mind?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
right there, man. I swear. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, because I mean, we go through it. Once you
Yeah.
realize that anxiety is real,
Mhm.
then the next step is finding the things that are going to keep you from exploding,
Yeah.
and having a conversation is huge in our lives once you realize you have it. Like I
Right.
had an anxiety attack the other day, and I'm here by myself sitting on my bed, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just send a message, can somebody talk to me right now?
Mhm.
And somebody responded, and just that response put me in a whole different place than before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
huge.
Yeah.
It's really a huge thing, and we definitely appreciate those that have been there, that are okay with spending a couple minutes, whether it's 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just to listen to this
Yes.
event. You know what I'm saying?
I am a testament to if you keep it in, it will come out when you don't want it to.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why it's it's important for you to find the tools that work for you, whether it is calling somebody, having a support system, or going to therapy, or going to a group, or whatever, releasing it, because it will come like that. We store emotions. This is science. We store emotions in our body, um, and they come out. There is no suppression. There is no like, oh, I'm just going to keep this in and it's going to disappear. It doesn't disappear. Trauma doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Trauma doesn't, it never disappears, and it doesn't go away until you deal with it. And even then, you're going to have to keep addressing it, certain traumatic experiences, depending on how extreme that experience was. You're going to have to, it just is the way, it's the way we are. Our trauma sometimes stays with us forever. But if address these issues, you learn how to respond rather than react. And so it's a conversation I had with my son the other day. I said, if I could do anything different, if I could talk to the 12-year-old Leon, I would say, work on responding rather than reacting.
Mm.
Because
Mm.
we do have this system built in us, this fight or flight system that was built in us to keep us alive. But here's the thing: there's not dinosaurs running around. We don't have to, we don't step outside. Well, some of us live in very tough situations where we
Yes.
have to, use that system a little bit more. But the majority of us don't have to constantly rely on our fight or flight. So a
Yeah.
lot of the times when we're reacting, we could be responding. And that's
Yeah.
where my yoga comes in. There's always a moment where you could take a breath. There's always a moment where you could ground yourself. And, we go to as little as a conversation, or an argument.
Yeah.
When someone says something to you, you have a moment. You can choose to take a breath and respond rather than react off of what the other person
Mm.
says. So that's one of the things I remind myself. I always have a breath. I have a moment. Every situation, I have a moment where I could take a breath, I could ground myself, and I could respond rather than react.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, man, we got deep into this thing, and I appreciate you for going there, because I sure wasn't, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah,
I really am. No joke, man. I'm so glad you did, because I think this is something that people fail to speak on. You know what I'm saying? About the dark days, about those dark moments, those situations that those subjects that are those touchy subjects that make you open it up and let it all out. A lot of
yeah,
people like to keep it inside. So I appreciate you for sharing your truth. You know what I'm saying,
absolutely.
about you as a man, coming from that 12-year-old, 13-year-old to today. I appreciate everything about what you're doing. What's going on with the modeling thing, man? You still doing the modeling thing real heavy?
You know, I I'm not a big fan of modeling, to be
Oh,
honest.
really?
I'm
Oh,
not a big fan of it.
okay.
I came out to LA and I started modeling because it was like something that kind of came easy,
Yeah.
but never really was a big fan of it. I do have a print agency, but I'm more focused on acting and comedy.
Mm.
Of course, if a modeling gig comes, I'm not going to turn down no money, dog.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that, but it's not something that I'm like really passionate about.
Right.
Um, I love acting. I thought acting was my passion. I moved out here to be an actor,
Mm.
and when I found comedy, I was like, wow, like I love stand up. I really love it. Like it has really like become my passion. Stand up comedy, teaching yoga and acting. And those are the
Yeah,
things that I am definitely focused, really passionate about, um,
yeah.
and going to do all my life. You know, I
That's
love being called a model though, because I need to be reminded sometimes I'm good looking. Because you know,
yeah.
we live in these dark days, man. And I'll just be like, nigga, you ugly, dog.
Yeah,
Ugly, man. So
yeah. So it's always good to get some confirmation that you still
yeah,
got
yeah.
it.
That's always nice. And I'm 40 now. I don't get hit on, at all very much anymore. You
Yeah,
know? So
really.
yeah.
That's
So
because you be up in front of a bunch of guys all the time telling
man,
jokes.
man, I get hit on by straight guys more than I do women these days.
What?
Which also tells me I'm good looking. Like if a
Yeah,
straight guy
absolutely.
hits on me, I'm like,
Absolutely.
okay, if I could turn this guy gay, no, I'm
All right, so Leon, what's up next? What's going on? What you got going on in 2022? Anything we should look out for?
yeah, I'm trying to, well, I'm not trying, I'm building up my YouTube page. I want to create a platform where people can go get jokes and get workouts,
Yeah,
get tools to help their quality of life. My fitness journey has changed. I went from like being a male fitness model, competing men's physique. I was shredded. I was 250 pounds. Like
mhm,
now I'm a yoga guy, less worried about the look, but more about the feel. Like, as we get older, our bodies start to change, our
yeah,
metabolism starts to change. I still want to feel young, dog.
yeah,
Like I want
absolutely.
to feel young my whole life, and yoga has helped me do that. And the thing about these things, like especially men, we avoid these things because there's stigmas on them.
Mhm,
Stigmas on men doing yoga or men doing Pilates or men stretching or doing things like that. So, I'm doing it, and I hope to show people like this is a very beneficial practice for you, and it's a tool. It's a
yeah,
tool for you to, as you get older, women are just very more flexible naturally, and also they do things that adds to that flexibility. Now, the flexible, like being flexible, and being stretchy is going to help your joints
mhm,
as you age. As
yeah,
you age and your joints start breaking down, and it's going to help you not have back problems, knee problems, shoulder problems, things like that.
mhm,
And that's why it's a good practice to start adding into your gym workout. I still love going to the gym. I still love picking up heavy weights,
mhm,
but now it goes hand in hand for me. Like I have to do both because it just makes my quality of life better. And
yeah,
that's what it's about. It's about quality of life. Like you deserve a good life from
yeah.
start to finish. From
That's
start
cool.
to finish.
That's cool, man. And
Yeah.
and I've and just so everybody that's watching knows, I've seen a couple of your yoga workouts. You've done them online,
Mhm.
for people usually on Instagram. But
Yeah.
amazing, amazing what you do. And there are breaks, just so you guys know, there are breaks in case you are looking for a break. There is a sweat fest,
Yeah.
and he tells you exactly what he's doing and why he's doing it, which makes it even that much more interesting and knowledgeable for you. Okay, so he's doing this stretch this way because it helps this position or this part of your body.
Mhm.
And so definitely I recommend it if you guys are watching and need someone to give you that 411 on yoga. My guy is the guy to talk to. So
Yes, I
definitely
got
do.
a I got a 30-minute workout up on my YouTube page. Yoga Leroy got jokes. It's a 30-minute kettlebell yoga workout. So for the dudes that need to lift a heavy weight, I
Yeah,
mixed it up with the kettlebell.
Yeah.
to add strength, resistance, as well as sprinkle in those stretches that are going to keep you open and protect your joints.
Hmm.
That's what it's
Yeah.
all about, protecting your joints, staying not hurt, not getting hurt,
Yeah.
building
Absolutely.
and not getting hurt and recovering. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, shoot, man, this has been a good interview. I think we're gonna go ahead and close up shop, man. I appreciate you. Do you have any questions for me or anything that you want to ask?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So you still sing? Do you perform in Tacoma still?
Bro, like, to be honest with you, like, I love singing. I'm gonna be singing for until I leave this earth. But as far as like performing goes, I don't really do much performing. I think for now, I just I do a lot of writing.
Yeah.
I love writing. I love writing music. And every once in a while, I'll go out and sing with friends or whatnot. But as far as performing actual shows, I haven't done a show since 2011. Yeah, it's been a
Okay.
long while, but I'm writing daily. I put music up online all the time, and I'm thinking about possibly putting another album out just because I have a lot of music that's just sitting right now.
Hmm.
That you know I think would be a good listen for anybody that listens to it. So yeah, but I always love music.
Well,
I
that's awesome,
always
man. I've never been able to sing. I sound
Mhm.
great in the shower,
Yeah.
but that's like the only place.
Yeah.
The
I
only
think that's
place.
what everybody says that, like shower is the best place to get those vocal
As
cords,
soon as I step
because
out the shower, it is just done.
it's
Like,
a whole new world.
yeah, yeah.
Reality hits.
But
Boy,
that,
stop it.
but that's amazing, and you have you've evolved, and you've opened up the world to this platform, and this is great, and I love it. I appreciate you asking me to be on.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
honored to
Yeah,
be
man.
on your show.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing. I've been watching you, following you for a while. This is great,
Yeah, man.
and
You're doing you though. I mean,
yeah.
that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? When I first came up with this whole idea of reaching out to people that are doing great things in the communities, not just our community but communities surrounding. I always wanted to make sure that I gave back to my people, and I paid attention to my people, and you have been one that I've watched for a very long time, and I've seen you evolve as well.
Mhm.
You went, like you said, used to be the chisel guy standing there in all the pics, and
Yeah.
then you really went heavy into the jokes, and then you started doing the yoga, and that to me, I think that's when I was like, I need to hit him up and see if we can talk,
Yeah.
because you're doing great. You're doing great, and I'm so happy that you have rose above the dark days that
Mhm.
you were dealing with.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because those dark days really, they're tough. They're tough. Like I've had a lot of them. I don't talk a whole lot about them, but yes, I've been there. I've been
Mhm.
there. Even though I don't have anything that has been holding me from being myself, I
Mhm.
have dealt with anxiety. I've dealt with PTSD even.
Oh man.
From a lot of things that happened in my past with my moms and my dad, and the abuse that I dealt with, and even today, I'm 44 years old, bro. Like,
Mhm.
and I'm still thinking about the things that are happened to me when I was 10, 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
And so just understanding and starting to deal with it differently has brought me to a place where I'm okay to talk about these things. I'm
Yeah.
okay to express myself. I'm okay to have conversations with someone that has been through the things that I've been through, if
Mhm.
not worse than me. And we can talk together and be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a rough upbringing, but you know what? I'm here today to say that just because I went through that doesn't mean that I'm going to end up that same way.
Yeah.
And I can rise above and be a better person for the people
I
around me.
I posted a tweet the other day. Now I understand why old people love classical music,
Yeah,
because as you get older, you're repeating your old stories over and over,
yeah,
and you need a fire soundtrack.
Yeah.
You need a soundtrack to those stories, and
Yep,
the classical music
absolutely.
just hits just right,
Yeah.
very dramatic. But yeah, it's important to understand and to realize that we're all on this human experience, and we are all going through these things.
Yeah.
We're all going through the same, different stories, but the
Yeah.
same things. Like we all
Yes.
have these things that we're working with, and you have resources out there. You have help. If it's not one person, there's somebody else that is going to be there for you.
Yes.
So it's
Absolutely.
just stepping outside yourself and making the first step to find your your secret remedy, your remedy to work out these issues.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And this conversation, just for everybody's watching, we hope and pray that what we had to say today has helped you in your situation if you're going through some of the similarities that we have went through in our lives. Hopefully, something that we have said has sparked something in you that has made you want to make a change in your direction and your choices that you're making moving forward. Like we said before, if you guys have anything that you guys need and you want to talk about, anything pertaining to your journey and those dark days and those dark moments, we are here for that reason. That's the reason why we're doing this, is so that
absolutely,
maybe somebody out there can hear something and know that they're not alone. And so, there it is. I wanted to make sure
absolutely,
I said that.
absolutely.
Anything else you want to say?
You follow me on all platforms. Yoga Leroy got jokes. I
Yes.
am planning a yoga comedy tour, hopefully this coming summer to Tacoma up the West Coast.
Yay.
Look out for that.
Yes.
I'm going to have monthly fitness videos and fitness pointers on my YouTube channel, as well as comedy sketches and my stand-up routines on my
Yes.
YouTube channel. So please follow me there. And man, I appreciate you, bro. I
Yeah,
appreciate you
most
having
def.
me on.
Hey, and when you come to Tacoma, make sure you let me know because I'm coming through. We
Absolutely,
coming
bro.
through, bro. We are
Absolutely.
coming through.
I've never performed in Tacoma. So
What?
when that happens, it's gonna be a great
Major.
event, dog. Like I have been saving. It's almost like, I've been in LA for so long, and I've always just saw, like, I've envisioned myself coming back to Tacoma and just being everything that I want to be.
Yeah,
It's like, hey
absolutely.
guys, I'm back, and this is me. Looking like, hey,
Absolutely. Hey, if
I'm
Nate Jackson is watching,
oh
hey,
man,
y'all need to make it happen.
man,
Tag team on that.
Nate is a real dude. I love Nate. He's hilarious. I love what he's doing with Super Funny Comedy
Yeah.
Club, and I can't wait to. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
When the
absolutely.
timing is right, and I've reached out to him a couple of times and told him that I do want to eventually come up and perform there,
Yeah.
and I know it's gonna come when the time. Timing is everything.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
just I like to just be okay with the space, you know,
Yeah.
giving things space and just being okay with it kind of organically falling into place.
Absolutely. Well, good deal. Hopefully, we can make that happen real soon, and I'm excited for what's to come with you in the future and everything that you do. And hopefully, we have another conversation here in the next year about you making those moves and with your yoga and the comedy. I like the idea. It's such a great idea, and I think it's beneficial to anyone that's a part of it. So. I'll definitely be watching for that. Make sure you guys are watching for it as well. So, on behalf of Circle Talk, it's your boy DH. We got Leon Walker in the building. Y'all
Hey,
have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.
thank you, brother.
Yeah, got you. Easy.